Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another episode of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel, spending some time with me today. Always much appreciated. And guys, got a really cool video for you guys today. I'm going to share a clip of a podcast that Mark Menendez was on, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Mark Menendez. He was on a podcast a few days ago called 10 Horse Monty, talking about forward-facing sonar. And he made some incredible comments on this particular video that you guys are going to want to check out and want to see there. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, guys, before we get started, just wanted to give everybody a big thank you, everybody that's been subscribing and hitting that notification button and all the likes on the channel here. Got some good channel growth over the last month. And also a big thank you to everybody that's been going into my description of each video, where I put my links in there, like my Solar Bat links, Tackle Warehouse, and using those links to support the channel. Big, huge thank you from me and my family for taking part of that. So really appreciate it. Okay guys, before I get into this clip, I'm going to share the clip with you, and then I'm going to come back after we show the clip and have a little commentary on it. But I want to set this up leading into it. Mark Menendez, most of you guys that fish, know who Mark is. He's very well known. He's a long time Bassmaster Elite Series Pro, Bassmaster winner, qualified for a bunch of classics, highly respected in the industry. And I've known Mark forever. I've met him back in the early 80s at a boat show down in Evansville, Indiana. But one of the things about it is, one of the things I really respect Mark for is he's got a very centered analytical mind when it comes to the entire fishing industry, and he's got a really, really good pulse on the fishing industry. So I respect his opinion and his viewpoint on it. I didn't really know his viewpoint on forward-facing sonar until I saw this, but that's why I wanted to share this with you. His perspective is so unique here. So we're going to share this clip real quick right now with you. Then I'm going to come back after it and give a little commentary. So check it out here.
You can still compete, but the dinosaurs went extinct once, and if I don't get on the forward-facing, I may go extinct this year too. So it's up to me to learn the technology and be comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with it. I catch them on it. I just don't think it's ethically right. That's the long, tall, and the short of it. We can argue this as much as you want. I can't spotlight a deer to go deer hunting, which is all we're doing. I can't use an aluminum bat in the major leagues. There's so many analogies I can go with. Golf and baseball have put limitations on technology to keep the game fair, and it's time for that to happen here. I work for one of the electronics companies. I use Lowrance stuff. That's what I use. But I don't think it's ethically right what we're doing. It takes 50 years of me honing my craft, and it throws it right out the door. For me, that hurts my feelings, because I've been able to be in the Elite Series or at the elite level for 34 straight years on my craft. The ability to adjust, the ability to catch enough fish to requalify, the ability to win, the ability to go to a classic. I've been able to do that for 34 straight years. And this is just such a game changer on how we're going to view fishing. I think what you're going to see is you're going to end up seeing some states really take a hard look at this and potentially put some restrictions on it or banning it, whatever it is. I think you will see several states do that in the coming days.
So of the veteran elite anglers,
we hate it. Save your breath. We hate
it. Really. So it's not even a split. It's not even like 50-50. It's just,
this younger crowd has gotten very proficient with computers. They grew up with them. They play video games. They're very proficient with it. And what's happened is you can take a very young person that has no fishing experience. They're not old enough to have learned seasonal patterns. They haven't seen enough seasonal patterns to understand the changes of the seasons, and put them in there. All these high school kids, all these college kids. I was at an event the other day, and the kid that was leading the tournament broke his transducer. Well, he didn't catch a cold the next day because he didn't know seasonal pattern. They rely on the machine too much. And in the event that there is a malfunction, what are they going to do? Well, I don't even have to have a depth finder. And I know where a bass is going to position. I know where he's going to be right now on Kentucky Lake in the very late winter. I know exactly what I'm looking for. You can take me to any lake in the country and I will be able to position myself around fish because I know how fish react to a seasonal pattern. Is it good for the sport? I don't know. Is it bad for the sport? I'm seeing more negatives than anything else. You look at all the comments that are being sent to the television shows that cover the tournaments. People do not want to watch a guy looking down, not saying a word, driving around, and then making one cast when he sees a fish. People don't want to see that. They want to know why I threw that spinnerbait on the left side of that laydown tree because the wind was blowing from the left side. They want to know that. We want to know why I retrieve that bait at a specific rate, why I use a number 4 and a number 5 Colorado in a copper. They want to know those intricate things. So that's what I feel we're going to miss out on. Is technology going to move forward? Yes, it is. Everyday life, technology, something changes. It makes our life better. But has this made fishing better? I don't know. It's still too early to tell. I don't want to be a real negative Nelly on the whole subject. But again, as a professional fisherman, it is my responsibility to become adept and be able to utilize what technology's out there so that I can compete. I realize that. To continue on, I'm going to have to conform and become good with the technology. And I'm not scared of it. I use it all the time. I caught a dirty 30 on a gravel dog down in Texas with it the other day. I can catch them with it. I don't like it because it takes out all those years of experience, which has been I won't lie, it has been an advantage to me to have those years of experience, but it takes away the fundamental part of what we've used as a building block to fishing being seasonal pattern. It completely takes it away.
That's a good that answer.
Okay, guys, that is one of the best analyses I've ever heard of forward-facing sonar coming from a tour-level tournament angler like Mark Menendez. Now, there's a couple points that stood out to me in this that I want to talk about here. First of all, Mark made the comment that he uses the technology like a lot of other pros, but he doesn't like it because he doesn't think it's ethical. He's exactly right. It is not ethical. It is not fair chase. I consider it cheating. I do not consider Livescope wins to be legitimate in my own mind, or in a lot, not just my own mind, but a lot of people out there. One of the most common things that I see, guys, is like if you ask somebody that doesn't fish whatsoever, they know zero about fishing, if you describe Livescope to them and forward-facing sonar, what it does, every one of them says, well, that's not fair, that's cheating, which it is. It's an illegitimate way to catch fish. Mark pointed that out. But the problem you have, and the dilemma of what Mark is in and a lot of the veteran pros out there, is they are forced to use it. They don't want to use it. If given their ruthers, they wouldn't have it out there, because he makes a great point that Mark has worked his butt off for 50 years perfecting his art of knowing seasonal patterns and seasonal movements and the nuances of bass fishing that are worthless now. They're absolutely worthless. So you've got somebody like Mark Menendez and all the other veterans out there that have been in the sport forever. All of the blood, sweat, and tears that took them decades to learn and to be able to compete are not worth nothing now, because you can have, and when I say this, what I'm getting ready to say here, I don't mean to dog you if you're a young 20-year-old angler, because I was there too. I know what it's like to be a young angler. But the problem is you've got these young anglers that don't have any experience behind them whatsoever. They've got a couple years of bass fishing knowledge, but they are so adept at technology through growing up with it, with computers and video games, that they pick up on it immediately, because you don't have to know anything about bass fishing to catch fish on a Livescope or forward-facing sonar. You don't. All it is you're deciphering, blips on a screen in a live image out there. It's not fishing. So from that standpoint, it goes back to what I've talked about forever, how it's transformed the sport in a negative manner. So one of the things about it, and one of the things I would encourage Mark and a lot of other pros out there, instead of accepting that this is the status quo, and it's like Mark made a comment like, well, I've got to learn this technology before I can compete, I would like to highly encourage everybody out there, all the Bass Pro Tour guys, all the Bassmaster Elite Series, don't feel like this is a normalization that you have to capitulate to. Stand up against it, voice your opinion, get loud, come across constantly that you're anti-forward facing sonar because of what it is doing to the sport. It's not ethical, it's not fair chase out there. And if everybody would stop being so complacent as far as in terms of accepting it, that it just is what it is, we could get this taken away from the tournaments, very quickly out there. And, and I don't, and I understand the reality and the politics of the sport is the tournament organizations are reluctant to just get rid of it because of their association with the electronic companies. It's all about money, like I always talk about. But there is a lot of different things that you can do to sort of like satisfy, both scenarios out there. One of the things that I have thrown out there forever is the fact that, let the pros have them on their boat in practice, but you can't use them in competition. Your Livescope, your forward-facing sonar has got to be removed from your boat during the actual competition. That way the electronic companies can still, sucker people into buying those things, and they can use them for fun fishing or they can practice with them. But they can't use them in tournament competition. That would what that would do is that would require people to have to know how to fish to find fish. And right now, the guys that are dominating the tournaments with Livescope don't know how to do that. They do not. Yeah, they can probably go and throw a spinnerbait somewhere, but they don't understand any of the nuances behind it. They don't understand profile and vibration, blade configuration, colors in relationship to weather patterns, changing water clarities, mood and personality of the fish, all combined, which takes decades to learn. It's an art form, it's a science that's worthless now. And that's one of the things I think Mark, the point he was trying to make with that. So anyway, guys, I'll link in the description the whole video here if you guys want to watch the whole interview with the 10 Horse Monty Show. But I just thought Mark made some really good points. And make no mistake about it, all you guys out there that say forward-facing sonar is not going anywhere, it's going somewhere, and it's going to go down the tubes, and we're going to get it taken away from these tournaments. It's just a matter of time. We got the momentum on our side, we got the public support on our side, and all you guys out there that are connected to that umbilical cord and that lifeline of forward-facing sonar, you better change your ways and you better start learning how to reel bass fish, because it's going to get taken away from you before much longer. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later. See you.